Hello everyone, it's Leauge Boy here and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be doing FA Cup predictions. Isn't that exciting? Got some good games here for the FA Cup and it's so hard to predict, you never know what's going to happen. So I thought it'd be an interesting one to see how many I get wrong so I can laugh at myself next week. So, first game we've got here is Leeds versus Millwall. It is a championship on championship clash, which can be a little bit boring. I think it'll be an alright game, because I think both sides will go for it, and we could see a few goals here. And I'm going to go with a 3-2 Leeds win. I just feel like there'll be a few goals in this game. I feel like both sides are going to go at it quite a bit. And yeah, it might be an interesting game. So 3-2. Next, we've got Leyton Orient versus Man City, and this is one of the standout ties for this one. Leyton Orient obviously have completely turned around the form in League One. They were like in the relegation zone a few weeks ago, and now they're just outside, in and around the playoffs, which is really good. Richie Wellens has done such a good job, and he's such a good manager. My king. And obviously Man City are struggling a little bit, and all my heart, I want Leyton Orient to win because it'd just be such a good upset. And I don't like Man City that much, so seeing them lose will be funny. And I think we're going to back Leyton Orient. I'm going to say 2-1 Leyton Orient for this one. They can do it, why not? It's a bit boring if I don't predict an upset. I think Leyton Orient can do it. Obviously Man City won't want to be upset, and I could be completely wrong, but I just feel like Orient have got the spirit at the minute. And I think they can do it, honestly. I think they can upset them. They've just got all the momentum and they've got a good, promising squad and a good manager. I think they can do it. 2-1 Leyton Orient. Next up, we've got Coventry Ipswich. And I just feel like Coventry are going to make it through this one. I think Ipswich are going to rest their players. The league's much more important for them for staying in. And I'm going to go with 2-1 to Coventry. I don't think it's going to be the most exciting game. Obviously, it's a fixture that happened last year. It's not exactly a thrilling draw. And I think Coventry are going to do this one, yeah, 2-1. Next up, we've got Everton versus Bournemouth. And obviously, it's another Premier League draw. It's not a very exciting one. And I'm going to put this as 2-2 and Everton to go through on penalties. I kind of just made that up as I went along, to be honest, because I'm just a bit undecided about this one. I think it's always hard to predict when there's two, lower Premier League clubs playing each other, because you just don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to try and go for it, try and get a cup run together, or they're going to focus more on the league. So it just could go anywhere. And I just think, yeah, it could go down to penalties, and I think Everton might just do them on penalties. Next up, we've got Preston versus Wycombe, and it's Championship against League One. Preston are a bit inconsistent at the minute, it's fair to say. They've just not got going again this season. It's the same old story, and it's going to be another mid-table finish for them, probably. Wycombe obviously doing really well in League One at the minute. They've got momentum. I can see them winning this one, and I'm going to say 1-0 to Wycombe. Not going to be the most exciting game. It could go either way. I just think Wycombe will do it. Next up is Southampton versus Burnley. Obviously, Southampton really struggling in the Premier League. Burnley doing well in the Championship, although they're probably one of the most boring sides you could ever watch. And for this one, I just feel like Burnley are going to win 2-0. I feel like a high Championship club is normally better than a low Premier League one, if you get what I mean. Just because of the morale and how they're playing, because Burnley have a lot more confidence than Ipswich at the minute. Not than Ipswich, than Southampton at the minute. So yeah, I just think Burnley are going to win this one 2-0 because they can't concede either at the minute, which is really weird. Stoke versus Cardiff, it's a Championship clash. Could go either way. It's just one of those. Cardiff is struggling at the minute. Stoke can't be brilliant, but I think Stoke will win this one. And I'm going to say 1-0 to Stoke. Wigan versus Fulham, it's a League One against a Premier League side. For this one, Fulham obviously doing really well in the Premier League. Wigan in League One just doing alright, nothing special. And for me, this one, it will only end one way, and I'm going to say 4-0 to Fulham. Quite a big scoreline, the biggest one I've predicted so far. I just feel like Fulham have got so much class, and against a lower team, they'll be able to play the way they want to, control the game and get the win. But although, Wigan known for a few cup upsets, so it could go either way. There is a chance Wigan could get something, but for me, I just feel like Fulham are going to smash them. Next up, we've got Birmingham versus Newcastle. Good game. It's a good, exciting fixture, this one. I feel like I've not seen this game in so long. It's a League One team against a Premier League team again, so it's another good draw. Birmingham flying so high in League One at the minute, just because of the money they've spent, spending 10 million on Jay Stansfield, who is a great striker, but 10 million in League One's an absolute joke. Against Newcastle, obviously, they have a lot of money as well, but they've not really spent it in the last 2 years. I think they're quite a close one, this one. Probably gone for quite a while. And I'm going to say Newcastle are going to win 3-1 in extra time. So Birmingham are going to be drawing until extra time 1-1, and then 3-1 to Newcastle. Random guess again, but you never know. So yeah, 3-1 Newcastle. And then we've got Brighton-Chelsea, which is a Premier League game. They're the most boring games to me when it's just two Premier League clubs facing each other. There's nothing interesting in it, you know what I mean? It could go either way. It's just one of them ones. It's not an exciting game at all for me. But I just feel like Brighton might have a bit more spirit, and I'm going to say they're going to win 2-1. But honestly, I don't mind. It could go anywhere. Next up is Blackburn against Wolves, which is a Championship against Premier League side. Obviously, Blackburn in and around the playoffs in the Championship this season. They're doing quite well. Surprisingly well to say they've let the best player go in terms of in Sammy Smodic, which is absolute nightmare to say. And Wolves not doing great in the Premier League. Did win in the last game. And I just feel like Wolves will just have a bit more of that Premier League class. They've been there for quite a few years and they've got better players than Blackburn. I think Blackburn are going to give it a go. But yeah, I think Wolves are going to win this one 2-1. Then we have Plymouth versus Liverpool, which is another good game. Plymouth at bottom of the Championship at the minute, I believe. Struggling for form, but they did win the last game and they're looking to turn around things. Obviously after Rooney's got sacked and all that. But yeah, they've lost so many games like 4-0, being 5 or 4-0 down at half time before, I think against Burnley, which was crazy. And against Liverpool, I feel like it does have the potential to be really embarrassing. And I might have gone a bit easy on them here, and I'm going to say 6-0. That is not easy on Plymouth, to be fair. I think they could have a good go, but Liverpool, they've got the class at the minute. They've got all the confidence at the top of the league. Coming to a team, who know they've been beaten heavily before this season, I think it's just going to weigh down in the heads. And if they concede a couple, it could just skyrocket. It could be 6, it could be more, but 6-0 for me. Then we've got Aston Villa versus Tottenham. Again, it's a Premier League game. It's happened before. There's probably never much in these sort of games. Villa will probably be more focused on the Champions League than the FA Cup. Tottenham, they'll be hoping to win this one. And I think Tottenham will win this one. Aston Villa, the focus is just on the Champions League, really, for me. And obviously they're trying to get in a good position in the league again. I think FA Cup, if they go far in that, it's going to be too much for them. So they're going to probably rest the players a bit. And yeah, so Tottenham are going to win this one 3-1. Then our next game is Doncaster versus Crystal Palace, which I think is the biggest gap between two sides in this draw, because obviously Doncaster in League 2 and Crystal Palace are in the Premier League. Doncaster have been good this season. They've gained a lot of momentum. I think towards the end of last season they were really good and they've just carried that on. And they're looking a really good side at the minute. Against Crystal Palace as well, got some good results recently, going up that table a bit after a bad start. And I think it'll be close this one. I think Doncaster might take the lead. And I'm going to go 2-2 with a Crystal Palace win on penalties, which will be devastating for Doncaster if it goes that way. But yeah, I just feel like the class will get them through that penalty shootout. If it does go to that, it'd be a good game if it does. I wouldn't mind that. There's a big gap between them, but you never know what might happen. And I just like to back underdogs in these sort of games. Because what's the fun, if not? And last but not least is Exeter versus Nottingham Forest. Exeter in League 1 struggling a bit, I think. I'm not too sure where they are in the league, but I know they're in the lower half somewhere. Against Forest, who are obviously third in the Premier League, which is crazy. And I think Forest will win this one. Exeter will probably give it a good go. They might score. And for that reason, I've gone 4-1 to Nottingham Forest, who I just think are going to outclass them. It's a good draw for Forest to get if they're wanting to progress. Because obviously the focus is going to be on the league. But, they're not going to not take the opportunity of going to a League 1 team and trying to win. So yeah, I have gone with Nottingham Forest 4, Exeter 1. Anyways, that wraps up these predictions. I know they're probably quite horrific, and I hope I've not missed any out. And I've kind of made them up on the spot, but that is okay. That adds to the fun. If I'm just panicking about it and thinking, oh gosh, I don't want to friggin' nets, because I don't want to friggin' set. But yeah, anyways, that does wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will be reviewing these predictions after, so stay tuned for that video, because that's going to be amazing when I say I get none right. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.